Hey everybody, and welcome to our webinar, Meetings Make Money, How to Get More People to Show Up at Events. I'm glad you joined me today, and we're going to cover a lot of topics. Well, really one topic, but a lot of aspects of that topic. But before we start, it's been 1 year and 2 days since the release of GoPro. 7 Steps to Becoming a Network Marketing Professional. And since that time, over 300,000 books have been sold. The book, for virtually an entire year, has been #1 in multi-level, #1 in marketing, #1 in sales and selling, #1 in marketing and sales, top 2 or 3 in entrepreneurship, small business and entrepreneurship. There's, if you rank on Amazon, and that's counting that less than 20% of the books that we sell are sold on Amazon. The rest are sold directly through our office, people getting them in quantity for their organizations, etc. So if we were all sold through Amazon, oh my gosh, we'd be knocking everybody off the pedestal. But network marketing is alive and well. It's doing great, and GoPro is helping a lot of people. It makes me really, really happy. The book is top 20 in the world for the last year, every day since it was released, as far as average customer review on Amazon. So thank you for putting up your reviews. I appreciate that very much. Anyway, super excited about the book, super excited about the audio book. I'm glad you're getting value from that, and I appreciate you continuing to spread the word. I hope it's making you more money. Now, let's talk about how to get more people to show up at events. That's what I'm excited about today. It's the one skill out of the 7 skills I think is the highest paid skill. And in my career, fortunately for me, when I first got started in network marketing, the skill of getting people to show up at events was something that I was kind of naturally good at. I could get people to show up. I could get people to come to my house. I could get people to come to a small event on a Tuesday night at a hotel. I could get people to commit to regional events and destination events. I was pretty good at it for whatever reason. So the good news for me is it made up for so many things I wasn't good at, that it allowed me the time to develop the other skills, or at least find out what those other skills were. But I think it's true that everybody wants more people to show up at events. We got one-on-one events, 2-on-1, small group events, local events, regional events, destination events. There's a lot of truth to the phrase, meetings make money. Meetings do a lot of things, and excuse me, I need to get some water. Meetings do a lot of things for people, for prospects, and for people looking at an opportunity for second exposure, third exposure, whatever. They give people social proof. They give people a view that is hard to see through their friend. They might need to have some third-party validation. Usually there's some excitement, there's some stories, a lot of things going on at events that don't normally happen one-on-one. So the one thing that people get frustrated with when they get involved in network marketing is they invite a bunch of people to an event and nobody shows up. And I will tell you, the reason people don't show up at events is because they never intended to. You ask them, hey, will you come to this event? They say, yeah, sure. But they never intended to come. They never intended to be there. They never intended to follow through. They were just trying to be what they thought would be polite. They were coming up with a way to end the conversation. They never intended to. They said yes to get rid of you. And really the issue is you didn't convey enough value to them to justify the time. You know, when they didn't show up, what that really says is something else was more important. And you didn't communicate to them that this would be more important than anything else that would show up. People lead busy lives. What happens is, let's say you invite somebody to a home meeting, and the person says, yeah, I'll come over, sure, why not? And they get home, and they lose their motivation to leave again. They get home from work and they change their clothes and they turn on the TV and there's some food there for dinner and they're like, do I really want to drive across town? They're probably not going to miss me. It's going to be okay. I can skip out on this one. I'm home now anyway. Or same thing's true for, let's say it's a local event in a hotel room or something. Same thing's true. They get home, they're like, I really don't feel like getting dressed again and leaving the house. They're tired after their day at work, right? People are nervous about meeting a group of strangers also. So I'm giving you all kind of the reasons why they don't show up. They're nervous about going into a room full of strangers. They're nervous about the unknown. Life happens. So all of these different reasons are why prospects. Now I'm going to talk about two different categories, okay, of getting people to attend events. One category are prospects that are going to be attending a one-on-one, two-on-one, small group, breakfast meeting, lunch meeting, home meeting, local opportunity meeting, those types of things. That's one group of people, and I'm describing what happens to them. The second group I'm going to talk about later is getting distributors to attend events, attending training events, attending regional events, attending national events, international events, company conventions, those types of things. Because both of those things will do well for you. They'll help you make money. So when it comes to prospects, 1, they're busy. 2, they're tired. 3, they're nervous. 4, stuff shows up, life gets in the way. The biggest reason for all of that, though, is if you haven't shown them enough reasons that this event is more important than all this other stuff, the other stuff's going to overwhelm them, and they're not going to come. Okay? So key concepts for prospects when you are inviting them to something. 1 is enthusiasm. If you're excited about what it is that you're inviting them to, if you're just going through the motions and you're just saying, hey, we have this event and, we have it all the time and, if you want to swing by, that kind of stuff. What I've found is a lot of people apologize in the invitation. Look, I know that I haven't given you enough time. And look, I'm sorry that, I know that, whatever, I'm sorry for bothering you to take a look at this. And, oh gosh, I know it's on the other side of town. And they apologize and apologize and apologize and apologize and back up, where they're expecting the person to say no. So even if the person says yes, they've done it there's so many seeds of doubt planted. They're like, yes, it is across town. Yes, it was short notice. Yes, I don't have a lot of time. Yeah, I'm justified now in not taking a look. So you need to have posture, be strong, pump yourself up. When I was inviting to an event, I would literally listen to music that got me energized beforehand, just for a few minutes. Listen to some music, get my energy right, and make sure I had a smile on my face, and I got on the phone and I started calling with enthusiasm. Guess what? We have something amazing. With energy, with urgency. It has to be this Tuesday. There's whatever else you have going on, you got to move your schedule. You got to make this happen this Tuesday, this Thursday, this Friday, whatever the day it is. So there's always urgency in there. So I always put in enthusiasm, lots of energy, lots of urgency, and also lots of compliments. I was always complimenting the person like crazy. So I'll give you some ideas. You've heard, if you follow Network Marketing Pro at all, is if I would you. If I would you, right? If I did this, would you do that? So the same thing works here, is if I invited you to this special invitation-only event in my home, would you attend? I haven't invited you yet, but if I did, would you attend? If I invited you to this executive luncheon, would you join me? If I invited you to this special showcase, this special event at this hotel on such and such a day. Would you join me? And for prospects, what I learned was if you followed my 8-step invitation formula when it comes to talking to people on the phone to get them to take a look at something, it's a little bit different to get them to come to events, but you saw my follow-up process. So if I gave you this, would you watch it? When would you do it for sure? So if I called you after that, you've done it for sure, right? What's the best number and time for me to call? Those types of things. It's the same kind of thing with events. So, but I'll give you an example. It's a little bit different. It's about questions and commitment and assignments. So here's what I mean by that. I invite you. I say, listen, there's this, I compliment you. I don't have a lot of time. I'm running out the door. I compliment you. I've always appreciated you. Got a really good head for business. You see things other people don't see, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then I do the invite. Listen, there's something, it might be for you, it might not, but I would really be interested in your opinion on it. They're doing a kind of an overview of this company on Tuesday night at the Marriott Hotel. And it's, 20 minutes away in this town close to us. If I invited you to sit in with me, kind of go in, sit there, kick the tires and check it out, would you go with me? Would you attend? And they're going to say yes, they're going to say no. But if, typically, not typically, but a good portion of the time, people say, well, yeah, give me the time, when it is, when is it. If they say no, then you can follow down that path. But if they say yes, then it's, a lot of people say, well, fantastic, I'll see you Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, gotta go. And it's at that hotel, gotta go. But that's not what I did. Here was my secret. My secret was I would spend 2 more minutes on the phone and I would lock up that commitment. I'll give you an example. So if I invited you, would you attend, right? They say yes. Yeah, sure, I'll attend. Then I would do something like this. I would say, do you know where the hotel is? Do you know the location? They would say, yeah, I think so. Well, do you want me to send you a little MapQuest? Do you want me to send you the address? Do you want me to send you whatever? They say, they finally say yes to that. Then I say, are you going to come straight from work or are you going to go home first? So I would ask when basically they're leaving. You're going to be leaving from the office or from home? I'm going to leave from home. All right, so about how long is it from your house to that hotel? And they say, well, it's 20, 25 minutes. I said, well, I'd love to meet you about 15 minutes before the thing starts. It starts at 7 o'clock, so that would mean you need to leave about 6:15. Is that going to work? For you to leave your house at 6:15? So, they say home, and they're going to leave from home. And then I say, so 6:15 is about the time. You're going to leave at 6:15? And they'll say, yeah, then they're going to start thinking about their life. They're going to say, well, what time do you normally get home? I get home about 5:30. So you leave at 6:15. You can pretty much turn around and do that by 6:15. Yeah, sure, I'll do that by 6:15. Okay, now do you feel the difference? I just spent a couple minutes just kind of locking this down, because if I don't do this, they're going to get home and they're going to say, gosh, I don't have time to turn around and all that stuff. But I've already planted all this in their brain. Now, I'm going to say, listen, when you get there at 6:45, I want to meet you, just so you know where it all is. There's, when you walk into the main lobby, so there's a lobby location. There's this big flower arrangement in the main place. I'm going to be standing at that flower arrangement. I'll just plan on meeting you at 6:45. So they say, sure. All right, fantastic. I'll give you a call, maybe a day ahead of time just to make sure we're all connected. But I got to go. I'll see you later. Okay? Now, every one of these questions that they've answered, it went from, yeah, I'll be there, to serious about them being there. Way serious about them being there. Okay? So this simple little process right now, I promise you when it came to inviting people to an event, quadrupled the results of anybody who they did this. If I invited you, would you come? And they didn't even do that. They just say, I have an event. Would you come to the event? They didn't even do if I would you. But even if they went that far and they just stopped there, their results are 10% of what I got. I had people show up, man. I mean, I got people to show up at events. Now, this is one approach, okay? This is one approach. Here's another approach that I used, okay? Now, you may want to use this, you may not, but when I was launching my business, if you're ever involved in a campaign, if you're involved in a launch, whatever, I did this and it worked. If you love me, say, listen, there's this big regional event, or I'm hosting my own event for the very first time. I'm nervous. There's this big event, and I would really appreciate your support. So to my family, if you love me, you'll come. I'm doing a home meeting in my house. I don't care if you sign. I don't care if you join. I don't care if you become a customer. It doesn't matter to me. But what I do care about is that you support me. So if I invited you to my house, will you just come sit there, nod your head, poke the person next to you and say, boy, isn't he something? Would you do that, please, for me? Would you give 1 hour of your life for me? Because I'd give it for you. Right? And I did this with my family. I did this with my friends. There was an event probably, I'm guessing maybe 60 days into my network marketing career. And somebody said, whoever brings the most people to this event is going to win. And they were going to have some prize for whoever brought the most guests. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go after this. And I went crazy. I called every family member. I said, if you love me, you'll be there. I called every single friend and said, if you're my friend, you'll be there. I called every prospect I could think of. And I said, you got to be there. And I also told all of these groups that, listen, this is a once ever event. The company's vice president is coming into town, and it may never happen again in the history of Minnesota, okay? So if you know some people that might like what you're about to see at this event, you should bring them along. If you got a list of 3, 4, 5 people that if you decided to do something, those would be the 3, 4, 5 you'd call them now and have them come kick the tires with you at the same time. Well, I was 23 years old and had no skills other than I just pounded this to death. I had, at that first event, 120 people. 120 people at that event. Sponsored about 20 out of those 120. A lot of them were there just to support, and that's fine. But the 20 surprised me. I didn't expect the 20 that, and they signed up over the course of probably 45 days after that. But 120 at that first event. And I remember I got a $100 bill from the speaker. Who has the most guests? And they were standing up. Who has more than 50? And I kept standing. Who has more than 60? And I kept standing. Finally, I was the only one left at 120. Ran up there, grabbed my $100 bill from the speaker from stage. It was awesome, right? But what did I do? I was committed. I went after this and I said, if you love me, you'll show up. Now, the second time I used this was probably maybe a year into my career. And I was proud of something up until that point. We did weekly opportunity presentations at the local hotel. And my claim to fame, I had a claim to fame. My claim to fame was I always had at least one guest at every presentation. Always. Every week. I'd have somebody sit next to me that was a guest, a prospect. And nobody else was as consistent as me. I was good, man. Sometimes I'd have my own little row. I'd have 5 or 6. Sometimes I've had as many as 10 if there's a guest speaker or something. But I always had at least one. That was my baseline. And my whole business was around drag the people to that meeting, let the people do the presentation, and I'm going to sign some of them up. But the mentor in the area at that time, the main leader that was running the meetings, went out of town to build in another city for 90 days. So the meetings started to fall apart. And I don't mean like stop happening. They were just, the quality was terrible in the event. And they stopped having a display, and the music stopped, and they started doing, the air conditioning was always too hot or too cold, and the presenters weren't put together, and the testimonials weren't right, and it started being embarrassing. So I started bringing guests, and they were going like, why did you bring me to this? This is embarrassing. And I was like, well, gosh, I'm sorry. So I didn't know what to do, because that was my whole business. Drag bodies, put them in the seat, let them do the presentation. If they join with the company, I get a commission, for helping them get started and getting their product order. So I went to the little committee, and there was a committee that ran the meeting, and I said, this will all make sense to you in a second. Okay, I'm going to get back to this. But I went to the committee and said, guys, can we, they were like, kid, please, give us, we got this, it's fine, it's fine. So I didn't know what to do, and I didn't have any money, so I decided that I was going to do my own event. They were doing theirs on Tuesdays. I was going to do it on a Thursday, and I went to the Embassy Suites, the airport Embassy Suites in Minneapolis, and I booked a room that could hold about 200 people, and it cost me $200 to book this room of money I did not have. I was borrowing my rent money, basically, in order to be able to rent the room, okay? So I rent the room. Now, step one, I have to do all the things that I was complaining about. I've got to make sure the name tags are there, and I've got to make sure the mixtape and all that stuff is done for the music, and somebody's got to take care of the air conditioning. The display's got to be set up, and you got to have the little info packets for the guests, and you got to have a nice registration table and all the stuff. So I do that, but that's the easy part. Guess what the hard part was? I can't just be sitting in that room that holds 200 people with me and one other person. I used to be proud of that just a week ago. Now, to not be embarrassed, to make sure I cover my costs and I'm figure out a way to be successful, I've got to put people in the room. So guess what I did? I did this. This is a year after being involved. I called all my family and said, if you love me, you'll be there. If I called my friends, if you love me, you'll be there. I called all the prospects I could get. And I never, ever had more than 8 or 9 people that I'd ever had in an event after that initial burst. I'm talking about the weekly events. Never. I was always like 1 or 2 or 3, right? Well, 10 days after I decided to do this, I made all these calls. My very first event had about 50 people in it. Very first one. Why? If you love me, you'll be there. Just be there. Just say, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. Just nod your head and clap and laugh at the jokes and tell people that you're sitting next to that, boy, this is awesome. And guess what? Again, I sponsored a bunch of people, and my meetings went from 50 to 70 to 100, and then I started, and I took over the other meeting that was happening on Tuesday night because everybody heard what was going on. I started taking over the training. I will tell you, that little moment there with this approach changed my whole career. If I didn't do that, I don't know if I'd still be here today. If I didn't really go all out in order to be able to make that happen. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, when it comes to like home meetings, some of you promote towards home meetings. I'll do the same thing as this, as far as details. Do you know where the house is? How long would it take for you to get there? Are you coming from home? Are you coming from work? All that kind of stuff. But on top of that, I'll ask, can you bring some ice? Why? I'm giving them an assignment. I'm making them part of the process. I'm involving them on top of asking the family, can you bring some chips? That kind of stuff. Will you pick up some chips on the way? Could you be there 15 minutes early? I'd appreciate it. Can you get some paper plates? Would you bring a bag of ice? I'd really, really appreciate that. So now first of all, it makes the meeting really, really good because you invite 10 people and, one's bringing cookies, one's bringing ice, one's bringing, some drinks, one's bringing whatever it is. You know what I mean? So you got a buffet basically from the people who are bringing little snacks, and everybody's kind of part of the process. It gives them a little ownership in the process. Okay? You don't really need to do these types of things for a one-on-one or two-on-one, but I've found for group meetings, whether it's at a restaurant or a home or whatever, anytime you can add, in addition to detail, the key concept here is detail. Get detail, get specifics. And here, the key concept is assignments. Okay, give them an assignment. Involve them in the process. Now they got a little ownership in making a successful event. The key concept here is support. Support. Okay, so a lot of people are really, really afraid to follow up when it comes to, once they get somebody who says yes. I'm not afraid to follow up at all. I would call the person, or I would send them a text or send them an email and just say, hey, I'm just confirming you're going to be leaving around 6:15. I'm going to meet you at the lobby at 6:45. I'm looking forward to it. Detail, right? With here, I'm just confirming you're going to support me. I appreciate you. Thank you in advance for supporting me. It's really great. For here, hey, I'm just confirming you're going to bring some chips, okay? Would you bring some cookies or something? Bring a bag of ice. Pick up some bottled water for me on the way over. I'll help take care of it. I just need you to do that for me. So it's about assignments. It's about support. It's about detail. Okay? Now, let me talk to you about distributors. How do you build a culture? Is my watch ticking in the microphone? Can you hear it? I actually can't have this watch on the nightstand next to me when I'm sleeping at night because the ticking will actually keep me awake. Anyway, sorry. So key concepts for distributors now. If you want to do something powerful for your organization, build an event culture. Build an event culture. What does that mean, an event culture? An event culture means people in your organization, they attend events. If they're anywhere within a drive, they're driving, they're going. If there's a destination event that's important, if there's a regional event, they're carpooling and going to that regional event. If there's a big destination event, they're planning ahead of time and they're going to attend. That's the difference between an event culture and a non-event culture. In an event culture, everybody attends. Or not everybody, but a large percentage. In a non-event culture, it's just like whatever, what happens, whatever. How do you make that happen, when it's kind of not a priority? I'll give you an example. I talked to an owner of a network marketing company last week. And he's very focused on his product. And he's frustrated because he has small attendance at his annual convention coming up. And he said, Eric, what do I do? Because you do good with all this stuff. I said, well, I gave him what I'm about to give you on creating an event culture. I said, if you decide to make the next year more important, you need to create a culture where all roads lead to that event. All promotions lead to that event. All recognition leads to that event. All incentives leads to that event. All communication leads to that event. All ranks lead to that event. It's got to become super important. So if you've seen the promotional kind of tools to use, one is you need to be committed. And you need to be more committed than everybody else in your network marketing business. You need to be more committed than anyone on your team. You need to be locked in that this is a priority. If you want to get people to attend your local event, you got to be more committed than anybody else. If you want them to be attending your regional events, you got to be more committed to that regional event. The destination event, you got to be more committed. If you're not more committed, guess what? They're only going to be committed to a certain level of what you're committed to. So you've got to be committed, number one. Number two, you've got to demonstrate it. You got to demonstrate that commitment. How do you demonstrate that commitment? You got more guests at those events with you. You got more people on your team with you. You're registered early. You show them your airline tickets. You show them that you got your hotel reservations. You show them a copy of your ticket. You got to demonstrate that your commitment isn't just talk, that you're making it happen. 3, intensity. You got to be fired up. You got to be in their face saying, this is so important. We're going to change our lives. We're going to make everything happen. This is important, is what the intensity says. You got to have a laser focus. If this is important, it's either important or it isn't. And your focus on the importance of this event is either going to build a culture one way or the other. You're building a culture one way or the other. You're either building a culture on non-event strategies, you're building a culture around events, and meetings make money. 5 is repetition. You've got to pound it and pound it and pound it and tell people again and again and again, here's why it's important. Here's what's going on. Here's why it's important. Right? There's got to be a verbal commercial. That sounds weird, right? Verbal commercial. Here's what that means. When people say, well, why should we attend that event? Everybody starts saying the same thing. We're attending the event because it's going to change our lives. It's going to give us the information. We're going to have a blast and a super good time. We're going to meet amazing people. We're going to hear the stories. We're going to inspire ourselves. We're going to get away from the daily routine, and we're going to live our dreams for a few minutes or a few days. We're going to change. We're going to do what other people are not willing to do so we can have what other people don't have. And we can do other things other people don't do. So let's go. Let's do it. Let's have this adventure. Let's go make it happen. When you start hearing that verbal commercial repeated over and over in the team, now you've got something happening. 7, you got to have a vision. So each of you, I'll give you an example. When it comes to events, you've seen me talk about this before. Here's the formula. You will earn approximately $1,000 per person per year that you have attend destination event. $1,000 per person per year that you have attended a destination event. So if you the easiest formula I know to make $100,000 a year in network marketing is move heaven and earth and get 100 people to attend your company convention. Because you'll earn about $100,000 from those 100 people. From the act of those 100 people. Not necessarily exactly those 100 people. But I will tell you, this formula holds scary true. Up to about $1 million a year. So if you had 20 people at your last event, I would guess that you're on track to make about $20,000 a year. If you had 50 people, you're on track to make about $50,000 a year. You had 200 people, you're on track to making about $200,000 a year. There's a few exceptions. Somebody's got one runaway leg. They don't have balance in their organization or something, but it's really rare. I mean, if you average it out, this is about what you're going to earn. So would this be important to be able to let people know that this is important? So you've got the vision. The vision is, look, This is here to help you. We're going to get you inspired, and then we're going to help you build a team that inspires others. Okay? So that's the vision that we want you to be able to go share with other people. 8, you need to have a game plan. The game plan says, here's how we're going to make it happen. Vision says, here's where we're going. Game plan says, here's how we're going to make it happen. Here's how we're going to get 50 people on your team to get there. Let's make it happen. Let's work together. Number 9, you need to tell stories. Examples of people who went to the event and had success, and also warnings for people who didn't go to the event and then it ended up failing. You got to tell those stories over and over and over. Number 10 is inclusion. Including people on a higher level that are going to the event, and not so much the people who aren't going to the event. There's a little bit of automatic exclusion for the people who aren't attending the event. And you say, well, that's mean. Well, it might be mean, but I'm just telling you, if you're going to spend time with people in your organization, your best invested time is with people who are going to the event. So it's not like I'm not going to talk to you if you don't go. It's just I don't have as much time for you if you don't go. And there's no such thing. People bring me excuses all the time. They say, well, you don't understand. I don't have the time. Shh, just shut it. I was there, okay? I've been to the events, okay? I was there when I didn't have the time, all right? I don't buy that story at all. It's not true. People say, well, I don't have the money. How do you get on an airplane? I don't care what your story is. It's not true. If you want to go, you'll find a way. You'll drive, you'll sell your way there, you'll figure out whatever you need to do to go. So don't talk to me about money. Don't talk to me about time. What you're telling me is you're not really serious. If you want to change your life, if you're serious, let's go change it together. But let's not pretend that we're working the business and we're not going to attend the event. It doesn't make any sense. So you hear the energy in my voice? If we're working together, I promise you, we're going to that event together. We're going to have a blast together. I promise. 11, recognition. Recognize the people that are registered. Recognize the people who are going there. Have a special dinner for people who are going. Have a special name badge at the local events for the people who went. Create some peer pressure. Peer pressure. You know how you create peer pressure? Put a list of the people who are registered to go to your convention on your website. Make a list of the people who are registered and send it out in an email to everybody on the team. That would create some peer pressure. All of a sudden those leaders aren't registered, and all of a sudden people start looking, I didn't see your name on the list. What's going on? Right? Accountability. I'm going to run out of a room here. But competition, create competition between each other. If I get 2 of you to go, okay, I've got Joe and I've got Sally, and they're both committed to go. As soon as they commit to go, I start a competition. Joe, how many people are you going to bring with you? He says 5. I said, okay, fine, let's try 10. Let's see how quickly can we get 10 registered. Well, we'll try and do it in the next 2 weeks. Okay, fantastic. And I go to Sally and I say, Sally, Joe says he's bringing 10. How many are you going to bring? It's got to be at least 11. And she says, all right, fine, 11. As soon as she says it, I go back to Joe. And I said, Joe, she said 11. She's going to beat you. Are you going to let her beat you? She's a girl. You're a big, strong man. He says, all right, fine, 15. I go back to Sally. He says 15. Right? I do this with the people who are naturally competitive. Some people aren't. Some people don't respond well to competition, but you're going to figure that out inside of your group. But I create competition. Let's go, let's go, let's go. If you both get over a certain number, we're going to have a special thing. I'm going to introduce you to the CEO. We're going to get our pictures taken. We're going to go to a special dinner or whatever. You know what I mean? So competition, contests, incentives, those types of things, campaigns, providing a challenge to people. Like when he said 5, you got a choice to say, hey, fantastic, 5, that's a big number. Nobody gets 5. You could say that. Or you could say, 5's okay, let's try and do 10. As soon as he gets to 10, well, 10's a small number now. Your vision's expanded. Let's go to 25. And push and push and push. Set assignments, set expectations. You want to get more people to attend your company events, local, regional, national. Distributors, it's this stuff. It's this stuff. If you want to get your prospects to attend and take a look at what you have, it's detail, it's support, and it's assignments. Okay? So if you're inviting prospects to home meetings and small group meetings, use those first three. If you're inviting prospects and distributors to local opportunity meetings, you're going to use the first three for prospects, and you're going to use the culture for distributors. If you make it a priority for people to attend your local opportunity meetings for your distributors, people say, well, I've seen it already. I don't have any guests going. Why should I go? It doesn't make any sense. I promise you, there are great, great organizations around the world that have an event culture that people attend. It's just part of the deal. If you're inviting prospects and distributors to regional conferences, you got the first three things for your prospects, and you got everything else for your distributors. If you're inviting them to destination events, you got to build this culture, right? The real thing here is this. Creating an event culture is a decision. It's a decision. You've got to decide that this is important. One, it starts with you. It starts with you. If you'll start here being more committed than anybody else, you'll figure out the rest of this stuff. But you got to decide that events, that meetings make money is real. You've got to decide that you're going to make this happen. Okay? Number two, get your core team solid with the same thing. And number three, teach your people to do the same thing. So for an event culture, it's you, teach to teach. That's what it takes. That's what it takes. So I believe that there's a couple things about the 7 skills. One is the gateway skill to network marketing that you can't go anywhere with until you figure that out is the invitation. You got to invite people to take a look at what you have. The highest paid skill is events. Getting people to attend events, putting butts in seats, being a promoter, not just an inviter. Not just, there's announcers that just announce, hey, there's an event next August. There's inviters, hey, you should come attend the event next August. And then there's promoters that do this every moment of every day until August happens. That just pound on it and pound on it and pound on it and pound on it. Now, I hope you got value from that. It's some of the best I've got on the topic, and it's a great topic. It's one that I really, really love. Speaking of an event, I have an event that I want to talk to you about. Here's what it is. It's called Insanity Boot Camp. If you attended the webinar that we did last, which was how to recruit 20 people in 30 days, or you've heard about the magic of the 90-day game plan, this Insanity Boot Camp is a live event, 2 days, that's designed to help you put together all of the elements of a 90-day game plan. See, I believe wealth is found in a 90-day game plan. I believe that a breakthrough is found in a 90-day game plan. Slow and steady doesn't win the race. You've got to put together a game plan. Now, I've produced some stuff, like the webinar we did last month that had 250,000 people watch it in 2 days. The different 90-day game plan videos that I put up on the website on YouTube or on Network Marketing Pro for free. I'm happy that you got benefit from that. But I want you to understand that it's about 10% of what Insanity Boot Camp provides and goes over in 2 days. If you're serious about your network marketing business, if you're ready to break out, if you're ready to totally crush this thing, then you need to attend. I only do this 2 times a year. One is in December, right before Recruiting Mastery, and the second is this June 27th and 28th in Vegas. It's at the Mandalay Bay Resort, June 27th and 28th. The only other time is going to be in November. This is twice a year. It's all the time that I ever do it. And here's what you'll learn and what you'll get out of this. You'll learn specifically every stage of a 90-day game plan. You'll put together your own custom created 90-day game plan based upon your company, your situation, your stage in your career, what's going on for you, okay? You'll learn from others how they've done it. I'll have some special guests talking about how they've used the 90-day game plan to be able to break through. I usually spend a significant amount of time answering questions about the 90-day game plan, but this is about 12 hours, a 12-hour experience, about 6 hours in day one and about 6 hours in day two, for you to totally have a breakthrough. And these are always sold out. Like I say, I only do them twice a year. They're always sold out. As of this moment, we're opening up registration for this June 27th and 28th event. Now, let me talk to you about this. This is one, it's for serious people only. You can be nervous, that's okay, but just, because we're going to go hardcore. But if you're serious, then you need to come. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, then you need to be there. If you're ready to stop crawling and start running in network marketing, if you feel like you're underpaid for your value when it comes to your network marketing experience so far, then you need to come to this event. Now, let me tell you, tickets for this event have always been $1,000 each. I've never offered a discount for this event, $1,000 per person. I do that for a couple reasons. One is the information is unbelievably valuable. And two, I want to know that you're serious. I want to know that you're dead serious about your career and you're willing to put up, to be able to show that you're serious. Okay? You're willing to fly to Vegas and stay at the Mandalay Bay with us for at least one night and get the information and go right to the source of where you can learn exactly what you need to do. Now, two things on this that you need to pay attention to. I've never done this, ever. But we're going to do two things today. One is, for the next 2 days, anyone who registers can register for $497. That's half off. I've never done that. You could do that for the next 2 days only, and when that's expired, it goes right back to $1,000. That's where it's going to stay. Now, in addition to this, I'm going to do two things for people who are ready to make the commitment right now. They said, you know what? I'm ready. I've been following you. I'm ready. I want to make this thing happen. For the people who act fast, the first 10 people who get it, who register today, watching this, first 10 will get a ticket for $97. 97 bucks, first 10. And the next 20 will get a ticket for $197. So there's a total of 30 people that can get a fast mover discount. First 10 get it at 97, next 20 get it at 197. Everybody else gets it at 497, which is still half off, a never discounted event. And after the 2 days, it's $1,000 each. Okay? So Insanity Boot Camp twice a year, June 27th and 28th in Las Vegas at Mandalay Bay. The link on the page is going to take you to all the information that you need. Serious people only, $1,000. I've never had a single person ask me for a refund in 3 years, ever. And I give a 100% money-back guaranteed refund on everything forever. So if they're ever unsatisfied, they can just ask me for it. I've had company executives come here, pattern entire programs around this for their entire company. They bring their whole executive team. This is going to be amazing. So June 27th and 28th in Las Vegas, serious people only. First 10 that do this, if the link is shown up already, 97 bucks. Can't beat that. The next 20, 197. Everybody else for the next 2 days, 497. After the 2 days, sorry if you snooze, you lose, $1,000 each, be the best money you've ever spent in your life. So, I hope you got value. As always, I hope you get value. I hope you get value from GoPro, the book itself and the audio book. I hope you get value from the GoPro Recruiting Mastery Home Study course that's been out there. I hope you get value from the networkmarketingpro.com free videos. I don't know, well over 1,000 videos that are up there now. I enjoy doing that. I'm going to continue to do that for forever. Hope you get value just through the connection here. I hope it's helping your team. I hope it's making you money. That's our webinar. And I don't know if you can say hi to everybody. Gail, come here, say hi. She's helped. Hi. Marina, come say hi. This is Marina.
Hey, guys.
Hi. Joe, come say hi. Joe, as always, my brother from another mother, helped us with all of this. Hope you got value. Ladies and gentlemen, my wish for all of you is that you decide to become a network marketing professional. You decide to go pro, because it is a stone cold fact that we have a better way. Now let's go tell the world. Everybody have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.